Hello, it's Dale here. Today I thought it was time to show you my flower stitch foot again. And I know I've done this before, but people keep asking me. Now what this is, I'll show you a real one. I mean, when it's not on the machine. The flower stitch foot is a very old, it was actually put out by Janome, but it's not a Janome foot. It's a generic foot. That's what it looks like. And it goes onto your machine by, I'm not going to get you to come around, but you've got a thing that, and it wraps around there, and it comes with the screw that's on it, which you'll have for other feet, goes onto there. This, I'm using it currently on a Bernina 1230. It likes Berninas. It's not a Bernina foot, but what you do then is you need a low shank to put on, so that the shank, you're used to putting different feet on a Bernina, and this shank enables you to, this is the part that then screws into here. So it's on the shank, the little shanky thing that goes into here. But you need to get a low shank, which you may have for some other foot. But what it does is you attach it to your machine. You can use any stitch that's on your machine, and you can have different widths from narrow to wide, and it will go, just goes around and around like so. And I'll show you. And what I've done here this time is I've put 2 threads through the needle. This is Indian Splendor, which is one of our lovely variegated threads, and I've put the same thread in the bobbin. And today I'm working on Kuhn & Felt. So I've got a narrow foot, a narrow stitch. It's quite a small one, and I'll go around. I'll just cut that off, otherwise you've got to pull it out later. And it takes itself around, so you can have a glass of wine and round it goes. And because it's double, you're getting a nice extra weight. And I let it go around a couple of times. I like that emphasis and the change of colour. And if you watch my videos on the machine, you'll know that I love variegated threads by hand or machine. So here it is twice. Now that's the same stitch going around with one lot of the thread, and this is the double. Can you see what happens when you start joining another colour? Because the colours, because of the way that they're dyed and the good combination of them, means that you get that depth, and it's really quite lovely. And I'll go to a different stitch, it doesn't really matter which one, and I'll go slightly wider to a big wide one. I end up myself using the little narrow one pretty often. And so this is a different zigzag stitch. And it's quite a wide, so this is the width that you can get going right round. And I'll go around twice again. It starts to build up that lovely layer. So 2 stitches through your needle is always exciting. When you start combining colours and things, it's always, I'm going around 3 times today just so you can hear the noise of it going around 3 times, actually, but not for that reason. So, and then it comes out and it's a nice, interesting stitch. And then I will go to my soldering iron and I will burn it all out. I've got a nice fine tip soldering iron, so I'll take that off and I'll show you how I've used it lots of the times. And I invariably will burn them out with my soldering iron and use them for feeding through. So for the outside of my books, I've used them at each end just to thread the cords through, and I've done exactly the same here, just by using that. I have make up lots, so you can get a sheet of Kuhn & Felt and just spend the afternoon working up and down making heaps. And as I said, I use a lot of these ones, and then I can burn out the other side and I can thread cords through that. But I've also used it in other ways, lots of different ways, but these are bigger ones that I've burnt out, so they're again great for transferring things through them, just on the ends. And I've done little ones across to put into place for other somewhere else along the way. I think that's some more there, different size ones. And so you work through, you use whatever foot you've got on your, whatever stitch you've got on your machine. So if you've got alphabet, it'll go. So this is a book that I put together quite a few years ago. It's still available. We've got a few left. And it's just really, you can see this is the particular thread I've used, and all the variants that you get of colours from it. The original piece is somewhere, just not sure where. So I've used it to make, this is obviously Australia, and I've used it in many ways to show. This book tells you different ways that you can use it, how to get it on and so on, and how to experiment with different widths and different stitches that you've got. So, for instance, use a letter or a number and see what happens. And then you can put little ones inside big ones. So it's a pretty comprehensive little book. And this piece here is worked on Kunin felt, and this is the piece here. So I've done different sizes and different thickness, different size and little ones, put them together, and then burnt it all out onto Kunin felt. For the background, I've put scraps of threads. The threads that I was using and stitching with, I put in between two layers. That's on the Kimberley. So it's just really just to show you what you can do, heaps of ways you can use it, little bits. There's nothing more exciting than highlights, and of course on water soluble. And just finally, this is a little purse made on water soluble, and this is completely using the stitches, and see some of them break up, but it doesn't matter, it's part of the whole thing. So that's the flower stitch foot, and from us, it's just, while I'm here, it's comes from us once again. I'm Dale Rollison, comes from the Thread Studio, and it's $34 Australian. So we'll see you again next time. Bye.